Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Today, I want to get into, the MOTB, right? The mark of the beast, the system, all of that, all that good stuff, and how, because I have an article, right, going into China and their brain chip implant, right? And before we grab that, I pretty much would want to make the point that once you take that MOTB, right, that's the end all, that's the end all be all right? You take that micro C-hip and it's through for you. There is no coming back from that point once you take it, all right? That's why brothers are so adamant about this MOTB, about this prophecy, because that deems you 100% certification, right, as an enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And time again, right, throughout the scriptures, we read what happens to the enemies of the Lord, right? But we'll read it again today. But starting here is the book of Matthew, chapter 22. We can start at verse 17. Yeah. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Right? And you had these pretty much wicked Israelites, all right, trying to get Yahweh Shai to say something against himself, right? So they can find a way to accuse him and so on, and which it never worked out for them, right? He always flipped it on them. Pretty funny. But the point I want to get is in the 21st verse. But tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? And tribute going into the money, right? The taxes that they would pretty much have to pay, right? But Yahweh Shai perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Shew me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny, all right? A penny, a coin, a token. I believe back then it was known as a denarius, right? That was like the well, as it reads here, a penny, a token, right? The type of coin that they used. Denarion, denarius equals containing 10. All right, a Roman silver coin in the New Testament time. It took its name from it being equal to 10 asses, a number. All right, so yeah. And he said unto them, who is this image and superscription? So whose face, and name and whatever is on his coin? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the thing which are Caesar's, and unto the Most High the things that are the Most High's. All right, and we know that Caesar, Julius Caesar, was the emperor of Rome at the time. But the point I want to make is, once you take that MOTB, all right, you are letting the Lord know you are not his, are not his. All right, not that he hasn't known before, but as we said, that's stamping the seal. It's done deal right then and there once you take it, man. There isn't a coming back from that. All right, you are now likened unto that this penny, this token that belongs unto who? Esau, Edom. All right, and their beast system. You worship the image of the beast and the system that Esau has created that is adverse and goes against everything godly. All right, once you take that MOTB, you are, a part of them, enemies of the Lord. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 30. It reads, he that is not with me is against me. All right, and as we just read, you roughly paraphrasing, give to Caesar, give to Esau what is his. All right, and give to the Most High what is his. Once you take that MOTB, you are deemed as not the Lord's. He that is not with me is against me, meaning you're against the Lord, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. So if you're against the Lord, you are going to be destroyed as his enemies. All right, you are going to take part in that judgment that the Lord is, that ultimate judgment that the Lord is bringing upon his return. And the Lord's enemies never win. All right, we read that time and time throughout the scriptures. You are counted among the wicked. All right, you're accounted among Esau, because clearly that's who you pretty much taking that MOTB is you choosing your side, man. And that's why scriptures say it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Heavenly Father, because it really wasn't you. The Lord chose your side for you. He made you take it, all right? Made you choose that side just so he can destroy you, all right? But if you want the Lord to see fit to not have you take it, to not have you destroy, then you serve him, all right? You please him. Live a life that's walking after the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, fearing him, so that way the Lord could, have you not taken. All right, as we read in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, was keeping the word of the Lord's patience, living in his truth. All right, not just knowing the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, but applying it. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And when you look into this word temptation, when you look into the going all the way back through the root words, all right, going all the way back, when you get here to the word pira, it means from the base through the idea of piercing, because that ultimate temptation is going into receiving that MOTB, receiving that mark. A trial, experience, attempt a thing, to make a trial of a thing, right? So to have a trial through what? The idea of piercing, all right? And going deeper, you have the word paran. Accusative case of an obsolete derivative of piro, to pierce beyond, on the other side, showing you that that's what this is going to be. All right, that ultimate test, that ultimate trial is going to be whether you get that piercing or not. Right, piercing beyond the other side is like you have a piece of paper. Okay, you poke a pencil through it. Now it's from one side to the other side, because it's an implant. All right, this MOTB is going to be an implant, meaning it has to go on the other side of what? Your skin, your body. But going back to here, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, once you as I was saying, all right, if you please the Lord, okay, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, then the Lord will keep you from taking that MOTB, because at the end of the day, it's up to him, whether you take it or not. Him, what side you are on, and the Lord is going to make it known, what side he puts you on. Right, that's 2nd Esdras, it's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So the Lord is going to have things happen, all right, have you do things to make it known if he's dealing with you or not, all right? But as it says here, also, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire, all right? We have to understand that a part of that trial, a part of the temptations, a part of the sufferings that we go through in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, a part of that trial can be the Lord making it seem like he isn't with you or not, man. Making it seem like he isn't with you, so therefore you think that he isn't, and now you start moving against him. That can be a trial that the Lord puts in front of you as well. So we have to know to always have faith and trust in the Lord, even if it feels like the Lord is not reciprocating that love, because he is. He's just testing you, man. If you've been serving him this whole time, why wouldn't he be? All right, look at Job. That's what Job had to go through. He was a servant of the Lord, and the Lord put him through all that. All right, and the Lord kept putting him through, having certain things happen to him. All right, what do you think Job was going through in his mind? All right, in his spirit, because that's where his hardest battle truly was in his mind, man. He was Slakia. All right, he was serving the Lord, and the Lord is still having all of this happen to him. Talking to the Lord, and the Lord still having all of this happen to him. So it's like, what the hell? All right, but did he transgressed the Lord, all right, cursed the Lord to his face, and all of that. No, he maintained the faith and fear in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we're to do the same. So that was Matthew 12 chapter, right? Right, he that is not with me is against me. Okay, and the Lord is going to make that known. Let's grab one more before we get to the article. It's the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. He cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. Point being, no man can serve two masters. All right, so as we read it, once you if you're not with the Lord, you're against him. All right, once you take this MOTB, there's no coming back, man. There is no coming back. You have let it be known what master you serve. All right, and it actually goes into that when you let's actually grab the book of Revelation 13 chapter now. All right, because taking his MOTB, that's also a sign of which master you serve. It's the book of Revelation chapter 13 of verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right, and this mark, the mark of the beast, is dealing with this RFID microchip. When you look into this word mark, here you have in the Greek charagma. All right, and when you look into all these root words, it pretty much breaks down, you know, each layer dealing with the RFID microchip. So this is charagma, a stamp and imprinted mark of the mark stamp on the forehead of the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. Right, so receiving this mark, again, that's a badge or a stamp, and not a literal badge or stamp, but pretty much a stamp to your name, for lack of better words, your person, of you being against the Heavenly Father. But here it has thing carved, a sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. All right, and a thing carved, a sculpture, a graven work, that's what? Something physical, literal. All right, and this is dealing with the device itself. You know, however they created, you know, these tools or whatever, that's likened unto carving a sculpture, which the sculpture would be the chip itself. Now going deeper, you have here the word harax. All right, this is what this is going into is the implementation device. All right, whether it be needle or whatever they use to actually pierce your skin and implant it. Here it reads through the idea of scratching. A pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, timbers are heaped and packed together. And a pale or stake is pretty much a sharpened wood. All right, the tip is sharpened, you know, in order to, that's why where you get the word impale from, when something is impaled. All right, it's what? It's pierced. As we went into the Revelation, the 3rd chapter, we went into that word temptation. What? Piercing through the other side. All right, and this harax is what they would use to do that in order to implant it. Here it says through the idea of scratching, and this I believe is grapho, right? Also, I believe there was something else, but here you have grapho. All right, and what this is going into is the information, all right, the data, the records that will be on the chip itself, you know, because that, all of those things, and you taking the chip is going to be what connects you to the system, to the image. Here, grapho, a root word, to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate. All right, down here, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record, right, record. Use of those things which stand written in the sacred books of the Old Testament, to write one, i.e. by writing in a written epistle, to give information, directions, so on and so forth. Especially to write, describe, but this is going into the information on the chip. All right, that's going to be needed to participate in the society, and that's why they're going to establish the system and then make it to where without this micro chip, you will not be able to operate within the system, and therefore you will not be able to metaphorically live. All right, and that's here, the very next verse. That's what that goes into, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So not being able to pretty much operate, within the system to get the things you need, to get food, to get shelter, to get work, all of that. You're going to need that MOTB soon come in order to do anything, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, in which those things are pretty much things that come with you taking the MOTB and that are a part of the system. All right, because without that MOTB, there's no access to the system. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, and when you look into that final 6 here, it goes pretty much backs up what this mark is. All right, 144. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Shai. Here you have Chi Psi Stigma, Chi Psi Stigma, right?
Strong's G 5516. Chi Psi Stigma. Chi Psi Stigma.
All right, and here's the stigma here. Stigma from a primary stizo to stick, i.e. prick. And this is what I was going into, right, when I mentioned that taking this MOTB, you delineate yourself as a servant of who? The beast. All right, Esau in their system. And if you serve them, you can't serve the Most High. You got to choose one, right? A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. All right, taking this MOTB, you indicate and pretty much have assured that you are a slave to Esau and their digital system, man. And that's the master or general you worship. All right, because it says the image of the beast. This system that they're creating is an idol, and they were able to give life unto it, as it reads in I want to say that was the 15th verse. We'll grab it. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. All right, and that token, I want to actually go into the etymology of the word token, see what that says. But because a token, right, a coin is a type of token, but a token in the sense of like a notice type of, okay, we know that you're with them, or we know that this is you, and so on and so forth. But a token etymology, evidence, that's the word I was thinking of, evidence. All right, the word token traces back to the Old English noun tosin, meaning sign, symbol, or evidence, right? And coins are literal tokens, all right? It's a sign, it's a symbol of what? That denarius, that penny, was a symbol of 10 cents, right? 10, or right, that's 10. So you taking this mark, you become that token. You become like that denarius that belongs to who? The denarius, that penny, belonged to Julius Caesar, which was the Edomite emperor of Rome. All right, and you now belong to Esau Edom. All right, in their current Rome, because this system, the image that they are creating, is the ancient pagan Roman Empire system brought back. All right, through their technology, and then through their technology, they were able to you know, in some way perfect it, all right, perfect that system, giving them complete control over everything, man. That's their end goal, all right. And through certain miracles, okay, false miracles, through pushing convenience, certain laws and legislation, they are pretty much getting the people hooked onto this technology, getting them and allowing and having the people pretty much allowing them to allowing them to being down with, right, letting them implement this technology into a completely digitalized system, all right. You know, they pretty much get the people to be down with it whether they want to or not, you know. And these false miracles, right, implanting people so now they can see, now they can walk, people who probably weren't able to do that before, you know. All of those things are enticing people to be down with this agenda. But here you have the word token, a sign, symbol, evidence, portent, show, right, okay, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, a sign, a token, evidence. Stamp themselves in this way with the token of their gods. From a primary stizo to stick, i.e. prick, a mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership, a scar of service. All right, and you're going to have that scar of service, man. Scriptures speak about those who took the MOTB receiving like some type of boil. I forget the correct wording, so roughly paraphrasing, right, receiving some type of boil on their skin or something. You know, that's going to be that mark of service. But as we said, that the image, well, we can start. Okay, actually, let's get into the article. Let's get into the article, and then we could grab 14 and 15th verse as we read. Here it says, China beats Elon Musk to launch world's first commercial brain chip. All right, as we read here, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Now it says right hand, but really it's just within the body, right? You gotta think, right? The Apostle John the Revelator, he was receiving a vision, and in the vision he's seen most people, seen people receiving it in their right hand. All right, now thinking logically, most people are right-handed, and this was the vision that he's seen, so it would just make sense for the Lord to have shown him that. All right, and he's just reporting on what he saw. That doesn't mean that it's literally just your right hand. All right, and here in the foreheads, and that's really going into your brain, all right, within your head, because actually having on your forehead is just that would make sense for, again, that's what he saw, but would make sense because your forehead is like the most open spot when it comes to your brain, right? It's the least, it's like the thinnest layer. But going back to here, China beats Elon Musk to launch world's first commercial brain chip, and that's another thing these devils do, because all these countries, all right, when you go high above the ladder, they're all in cahoots. Now we know Esau Edom, the elites of Esau Edom truly run the world, but you have elites of these other nations as well, who pretty much are in cahoots with the elites of Esau. All right, so what they do is they try to form things as a race, okay, to justify them doing or implementing certain things quickly in the eyes of the public, in the eyes of the people, when really they're working towards the same goal in the end. Because and that's why, because I brought out an article before, going into how China acquired one of the US's greatest scientists, Okay, and he went over there to China, and immediately they gave him his own lab and whatsoever, in which I speculate that, you know, that was just really a team up between the US and China to get these brain chips moving, because that's what they wanted him for, to create these brain chips. All right, and China said that it was a national priority, all right, for these brain chips to be, you know, pretty much built and worked on. And now we see why. All right, here it says the world's first commercial brain chip, in which commercial pretty much means that, I believe, you know, it's on the market now, right? They sell it. It's just, you know, it's on the market, right? It's not everything like you can have it in stores or whatever. Let's actually just search up the meaning. What does it mean when something is commercial? Like you can get money from it, right? When something is described as commercial, it means it is connected with the buying and selling of goods and services. Yeah. The primary purpose of commercial endeavors, products, or spaces is to generate financial profit, right? So they can, you know, they have the first, you know, a commercial branch where they can sell, receive profits, and so on and so forth. Okay, it's on the market. They can put it on the market if it's not already. What is going on? Okay, hackers are excited. Surveillance advertising corporations are elated. Political thought police are enraptured. China has just approved the world's first brain computer chip. You know, why would that need to be a national priority? Why would this need to be a thing? Well, because it shows you the direction that we're headed. Okay, everything is going digital. They know that. We know that. All right, these people in these higher positions, they notice. China just approved the world's first brain computer chip, and they've beaten billionaire tech bro and MAGA evangelist Elon Musk to market. Right. The coincide. Oh, I didn't even read this before, so this is funny. Coincide. How I made the connection through the spirit, liking it unto that penny, the coin, the token, right? Lord bad, man, in the good sense. The coin-sized device called NEO is the first surgical implant to pass clinical trials for commercial sale. Version 1 is optimized to enhance the nervous system of patients suffering spinal cord injuries and paralysis, and this is how they, you know, present it. All right, they present it as, you know, a gift, presented as life. Okay, they present it as life, but really it's death. You know, because once you take these brain implants, you get these implants. That's all that's coming to you, right? You are now a token, you know, tokenized. It's now evident that you are a enemy of the Lord. All right, and the scriptures say what? They that hate me love death. Version 1 is optimized, and that's what it goes into here in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 14th verse. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. Right? These things, suffering spinal cord injuries and paralysis, giving people, now they can walk. Okay, maybe they were lame on their feet before. Now they can do this, they can do that. You know, you had Elon Musk literally saying through their technology, all right, through their implants, that they can have, they can now have people, quote unquote, perform Jesus level, which we know his name is Yahweh Shai, but level miracles. All right, this is what scripture is speaking about. And you know, we know that it's really pseudo miracles, all right, false miracles, man. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now, the miracles, all right, the false pseudo miracles, and saying to them that dwell on the earth. So pretty much, like we said, all right, getting people hooked on this technology, on this digitalization through what? These miracles, all right, certain laws that they enforce through pushing it as convenient, you know, getting them hooked so much so that the people allow them to, you know, are down with them, you know, or let them then establish a system that is completely built on this technology, right? Completely built on this digitalization that gives them what? Complete control, man. That's the end goal, all right? He had power to do in the sight of the beast that they should make an image to the beast, and this image is that system in which which is the, as we said, the revival, all right, the perfected ancient pagan Roman Empire system through their technology. This is how Esau gets it to where, okay, it's perfect. Now with this, we can gain that complete control. That they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by his sword and did live. And we know when you go up, read up above in Revelation 13 chapter, it speaks about that beast having the wound by the sword is what? Is dealing with Rome. Okay, so going back here, version 1 is optimized to enhance the nervous system of patients. All right, and if you were, you know, look at the good that they're doing with these implants. You know, they're healing people, right? As Yahweh did, they're healing people, healing the sick, people with disabilities, and so on and so forth. You know, and here it is, you're against it. All right, now how does that make you look? You look like the enemy now, man. As you're against all the good that Esau's doing with his technology. that you know, the people, these higher ups are doing with their technology. You're against that. Meaning you're against us. You know, when the U.S. start rolling this out and they push that, hey, they're already pushing it, right? We went into an article also where you had the Trump administration allegedly, all right, cracking down on anti-tech extremists. Those of us who are against what these devils are doing with the technology are going to be deemed as terrorists, man. And we see how DJ Trump, you know, feels about them. He voices his opinion quite often. Version 1 is optimized to enhance the nervous system of patients suffering spinal cord injuries and paralysis. It's about to enter mass production for the Chinese state-run health system. But the Chinese Communist Party and Musk see this as just a first step on a path towards super productive and compliant human cyborgs. Yo, these devils gotta go, right? And then that compliant, they're gonna force that compliance out of people, man. Because if you don't, and that's what is in the human cyborgs is what? Transhumanism, right? You man merging with technology, the fourth industrial revolution. But you being compliant, all right? They're gonna force that, all right? Through as we read in Revelation 13 chapter and 17, you won't be able to buy and sell. You won't be able to pretty much live, man, if you don't comply. And that's going to get a lot of people to what? Comply. All right, but that's those who do comply. That ultimately shows that what? They didn't have fear on Yahweh Ba'ashem Awashai. They didn't have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Awashai, because we know that the Lord is going to protect, provide, defend, and keep us, as we read in Revelation the 3rd chapter. All right, during those times of trouble, man. During these times where you need to be a part of Esau's system in order to eat, and so on and so forth. The Lord is going to preserve us, man. That's what we believe and have faith in. But everybody can't say that. So they're going to run to who? Esau, Edom. Run to the system and worship the image, man. And bow down and take the MOTB in order to live, in order to save their life. And that's why scriptures say what? He that, let's grab that. It's the book of John chapter 12, verse 25. He that loveth his life shall lose it. All right, these people are going to love their life so much that they're going to do anything. Yes, even take the MOTB, even go along with the agenda that Esau is pushing, their system, their beast system, in order to save that life. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. All right, Lord's will, that's where we come in. We don't care about life in this world, man. We don't care about, living, how the residents, the worldly residents of this world live. So when Esau takes away certain things, takes away ultimately everything, and says we can only get it back if we take this MOTB, fuck them in that MOTB, man. We good over here with Yahweh Shai and his father, man. We good over here with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. So much so that we'd rather die than transgress the Heavenly Father. And we know that dealing with the Lord, all right, if we do die, if maybe that be our lot, okay, that is only temporary, man. Because we're going to be brought up to what? Life eternal. All right, and that's what we have faith and believe in. But continuing here, Musk has not been backward in coming forward about the technology's benefits, restoring control of people who are tetraplegics and restoring sight. Those miracles. Scripture said what? Deceiveth them with those miracles, making it look good, man. But really, they're presenting death to you. Let's grab that one more time, because I want to look into that word deceiveth. All right, and it should be planao. Okay. Yep, planao, to what? To cause, to stray, to lead astray, lead aside from the right way, lead away from the truth, to lead into error. All right, because once you take this, man, you fucked up. That's an error on your part, because now you are an enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and it's evident. All right, it's tokenized. To be led aside from the path of virtue, to go astray, and that goes to show you that you were already an enemy of the Lord, but now it's evident. All right, scriptures say that, if they, roughly paraphrasing John, 1 John, the second chapter, right, if they were with us, they would have certainly stayed with us, roughly paraphrasing. I know I just butchered that. But pretty much, if you were of the Lord, all right, you're always going to be of the Lord. You're never going to turn away from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. In the sense of, like, you come into this truth and then you fall out. That just goes to show that the Lord was never really with you. You never really had that fear. If you claim to be a believer of the Lord, yet you take this MOTB because of what? You feared an Esau. You feared what man can do to you. All right. You feared not eating, meaning you ultimately didn't have faith in the Lord. And that shows you, that shows you didn't have faith in the Lord. You were never really with the Lord, man. But restoring control of people who are tetraplegics, and see what this. No. It means they have certain body parts that are dysfunctional. What a great definition, right? Plegias is partial or total paralysis of all four limbs and the torso. Okay, yeah, like I said, just wanted to make sure. Tetraplegics and restoring sight, I think, are pretty big deals. He told an event in Israel last month. They're sort of what I might, there it is. They're sort of what I might call Jesus level technologies, man. His brain implant startup Neuralink promises users the ability to perform routine tasks using thought control, such as typing and moving a mouse. Reverse, and you're going to have people who take this brain chip, all right, who get this implant just to do stupid shit like that, all right. And it ultimately goes to show you how the Lord has truly blinded, most of these individuals. Reversing paralysis, restoring sight, and raising the dead remain in the realm of theology. Again, these pseudo miracles, all right, and they're never going to have power to do that. And because if they do raise the dead, all right, because in order to truly raise someone from the dead, what? Their spirit has to re-enter their body. All right. Scriptures say the Heavenly Father's the Father of spirits, not these devils. All right. Hey, and in fact, Scriptures tell you that these devils ain't never going to be able to do that. Right. So get the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather for him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. These devils can't inflict your soul. They can't, control your soul. Your spirit, right? They don't have that type of power. They're not getting it no time soon. But that's not incorporeal as it once was. Brain chip advocates, however, go even further. They envisage a future in which everyday citizens are endowed with digital telepathy and telekinesis. Must a staunch, because exactly, man, you're going to have people who, again, want these technologies for the pseudo miracles, all right, for the pseudo power that comes with it. All these sci-fi geeks and so on and so forth. Off that alone, they first in line. Must a staunch pro-Trump Make America Great Again activist, Salakia, has also floated the idea of brain chips ending the woke. Ooh, shows you what these devils really want to target, man. And that's just why we know, because, all right, let me read it. Has also floated the idea of brain chips ending the woke mind virus. What's that? Shows who they ultimately want, man, to come against those who have the truth. All right, you take that MOTB, because I remember something where they said that it some type of chemical or something that they have, that it puts within you that targets your ability to believe in the Most High, something along those lines. Why the hell would you want to destroy that? Son of perdition for you. All right. The man of sin for you. Satan, the adversary to the Most High, the devil, the wicked, man. That's who these people are. Musk, a staunch pro, right, brain chips ending the woke mind virus. That's all. Why? Like, why would you want to, why would you want to destroy that? That's all related to the technology's potential to store and rewrite memories and treat psychological conditions. And that restoring and rewriting memories, that goes into what? Grapho, certain information. So they're saying here, potentially, not only can this, receiving these chips, that have information on them, but now they can rewrite or potentially, right, theoretically, be able to rewrite the information that's already in you, all right, in your mind, in your memories. This is truly the devil, man. And that's why let's grab Revelation 13 and 15 chapter, all right, when it says that they gave life to the image, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now the image of the beast, again, being the digital system itself, right, the ancient pagan Roman Empire system itself, and giving life unto the beast, having it speak and so on and so forth. That's when it has life, when it can speak, it's able to do things. All right, as we're seeing here, these devils said that theoretically they'll be able to, rewrite your memories, your thoughts, and so on and so forth. Right? They can perform certain miracles and so on and so forth. So this system, all right, and the technology, using the technology, it's able, this idol, all right, this beast is able to actually do things. When you look into, idols of old, right, going back to the ancient times, and certain false gods and idols that people worship, they weren't able to speak, all right, they weren't able to do things or have things done. But scripture said that Esau was able to make their idol do these things, do certain things, right? And that's through their technology, all right? And when you also go into something being given life, well, in order to have life, you need a spirit, all right? And the spirit ultimately of Esau's technology is what? That AI, man. Artificial intelligence. It's giving them an artificial mind, right? And we know the word heart in the Hebrew, labab, right? It goes into what? Your soul, your spirit, your mind, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So those who do not, who are not down with Esau in his system, are going to be ostracized. Because when you look into this word killed, and then you're also going to have some who are literally killed, but pretty much going into you not being able to participate in society, all right? You're going to be an outcast of society, because clearly you're the problem and you're against society, all right? You're against what's good, you're against the greater good. So you're the problem, man. To kill in any way whatever, abaktino, to destroy, to allow to perish, metaphorically to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death, to deprive of spiritual life and procure eternal misery in hell, which we know there's no such thing as hell, but hell simply means the grave, or pretty much a condition that you can be in. But going into the root word of here, you have apo, of separation, right? A local separation after verbs of motion from a place, i.e. of departing or fleeing, a separation of a part from the whole. So you will be separated from the whole of society, from the whole of life, of living. For those who do not, worship the beast, bow down to the image, take his mark, and that's when the Lord is going to, and that's a part of that testing, as we read, right? To see if, because you're going to be separated from society, will you give in and take the MOTB, so now you can eat and sell and do all this other stuff? Or will you just trust in me, right? And have faith in me to keep you and preserve you during those times? I know Lord's will, okay, what we chose, but as we read, that's not going to be the case for everyone. Brain implants may sound dystopian, but they are a promising part of neuroscience research. That does not mean that it's like he didn't ease the concern. Or they may sound dystopian, but we still need it for our research, okay? So it's still dystopian. Brain implants may sound dystopian, but they are a promising part of neuroscience research. So it's like, fuck you and what you think, we still need it. Argues Griffith University cybersecurity expert Dr. David Tuffley. Wonder what. Yeah, let's see. So look into him real quick. Yep, looks like a demon for sure. Let's see. Let me see something. David Tuffley, parents. right? Seems like they don't want to give out that info now, but normally, right, when I'm going through these articles, I pretty much search up them, right? Go to Wikipedia, and I want to say 8 times out of 10, they have some sort. 9 times out of 10, bro, they have some sort of, small hat lineage. But continuing, but the technology will theoretically allow hackers to access sensitive neural data, such as patients, thoughts, and memories, he adds. And I remember one of, I'm not sure if it was Noah Yuval Harari. It was probably him. I think it was him. Speaking about, humans becoming hackable creatures. What the hell was that? But the technology will theoretically allow hackers to access sensitive neural data such as patients, thoughts, and memories, he adds. We're on the cusp of the next major transition, again, that 4th industrial revolution. What? The merger of humans and AI, transhumanism. Venture capitalist Scott Phoenix told a Vancouver TED Talk in April, and this is what all these devils want, man. They want this to become commonplace. They want to implement this system, and have, as it reads, as we read up here, compliance. Right? We don't have to go back and get it, but that compliance, man. If you're not down with it, then you got to go. Someone you work with will get it first, and you'll hold out for a while, the way you did with the smartphone, but eventually you won't. Why? Because they changed society to where a smartphone was damn near needed. All right, and that's why people ended up getting it, and they're going to do the same thing here. But that's that temptation. The advantages of integration will be hard to compete with. It's a vision of the future shared by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and AI tech bro Peter Thiel. All these devils, man. They working towards the same goal. They might look like they're at odds, but in the grand scheme of things, they got the same, end in mind. Investment analytics firm Future Market Insights recently predicted the current, right, a lot of money is at stake. It's the future of humanity. So who actually owns the data extracted from a brain? And that's true. Because scriptures say what? If the Lord did not come put an end to these devils, there would be no one left. Right? They'd end up killing everybody. So who actually owns the data extracted from the brain will be a critical issue. But that's likely the price that dependent customers will have to pay. Brain chips could improve the lives of more than 3 billion people with neurological conditions, right? That's that enticement and convenience, especially those related to movement and speech, but they have also potential for those with depression, epilepsy, stroke, Parkinson's disease. So again, that's that they're preaching to you life. All right, take this implant and you will pretty much you'll live longer. All right, you can cure everything, so on and so forth. They're masking life. I mean, they're masking death as life, because grab here, Revelation 14. Once you take it, man, you're through. Doom for worshipers of the beast. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, all right, the beast, going into Esau and their power structure, right, and his image, the system, and receive his mark in their forehead or in their hand, and the microchip, right, the brain chip implant. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. And what this is ultimately going into is the destruction of America. That fire and brimstone going into the second judgment, right? The first one was by water, right, during the times of Noah, the flood, and this one is going to be by fire. The Lord is going to completely torch the entirety of America. And those over here who receive this mark, all right, who worship the image of the beast, will be a part of that judgment. And he shall be tormented, right? And we don't know for sure how the Lord is going to deal with everyone else around the world, but we know for a fact that those over here in America are literally going to be cooked. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, is Yahushai. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. Right, the smoke from the burning is going to go up into the sky for a long period of time. All right, it's going to be a memorial of what happens when you go against the Heavenly Father. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoso receiveth the mark of his name. And whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. All right, receiveth means that's past tense. All right, that means that you had taken it. All right, you took it. You take it. Once the phrase "you took the mark of the beast" becomes true, whether you get it in your hand and then you cut that hand off, you know, or whatever. Once that's a true phrase, as it reads here, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, once that's a true phrase, you're done. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Once you receive it, man, you're cooked. All right, that's why I said the end all be all. No turning back. It's evident that you are an enemy of the Lord, and you will be destroyed as such. I'm gonna get this in the NLT, see how it reads. Smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever, and they will have no relief day nor night, for they have worshipped the beast and his statue, and have accepted the mark of his name. Past tense, accepted. Once you take it, you're through. But it is a process that captures the most intimate of personal thoughts, even more so than the AI, and that's completely invading privacy. You know, scriptures speak about when you go back into the law, scriptures speak about, you know, not gazing upon the nakedness of another man. All right, and yeah, it's speaking about literally, but spiritually, right, prophetically. That's speaking about it's certain levels of privacy as individuals, as men, you should have. These devils took it a step further. Fuck what's under your clothes, right? What's under you? It shows you how these devils, you know, how extreme they are when it comes to transgressing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and why the Lord has to destroy these niggas, man. Such data is already of immense value to multinational marketing and advertising interests like Amazon, Apple, Meta, Google, like Amazon, Apple, Meta, Google, C, and X. Hacking may also enable them to impair a patient's cognitive functions, such as the ability to concentrate, or even manipulate motor signals to affect how well they move. All right, so again, going back to how I said that them giving life unto the image of the beast, all right, that means that this beast, this image, can now do things. Well, as we're reading here, okay, it can make you do things as well, you know, showing how they actually brought it alive. All right, it can now have things happen and do things and make you do things, which we know is ultimately according to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But yeah, as it stands here, right, manipulate motor signals to affect how well they move. All right, it's literally these devils having control over everything. All right, even you, man. That's a scary prospect, especially if these devices become more common. Brain fade. Brain computer chips are not a done deal yet. The challenge of inserting a mechanical device permanently into the body is immense, and it is a done deal. Why? Because it was prophesied. Now we just, as it reads in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, it shall speak and not lie. All right, we just have to wait on the time that it speaks, the time that the Lord has set for it to come to pass. Because soon, as we're seeing the buildup of this digital system, soon it's going to become mandatory that people have these implants. All right. The challenge of inserting a mechanical device permanently into the body is immense. The human immune system generates scars around foreign objects, or it could reject them in a similar way to how it does with splinters. And that's what I was going into in Wadi Hawba Shema Shah. Remember the wording, but it speaks about those who are receiving the mark having a grievous sore. All right, why is that? Book of Revelation chapter 16 verse 2, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. All right, as we're reading here, it's saying how your body could reject the implant and cause something to these effects to happen. The human immune system generates scars around foreign objects, or it could reject them in a similar way to how it does with splinters. Researchers at Tsinghua University in Beijing and Shanghai-based Neurical Technology have attempted to minimize these risks. Their NEO device sits between the skull and that sore. That grievous sore is going to happen no matter what. Why? Because again, it was prophesied. Their NEO device sits between the skull and the brain. It presses 8 sensors against the patient's dura mater, the protective outer layer of the brain, and connects these to nearby computers, a central processing hub that's the work converting brainwaves into digital commands. Some 38 patients have been trialing the implants. That's bad news from much brain implant startup Neuralink. This device is yet to receive. All right, how much longer is this? Oh, we're almost done. This device is yet to receive Food and Drug Administration FDA approval for general use, and those devils approve anything. Most of the shit they approve is harmful to us anyways. Despite beginning human trials in 2024, University of Technology Sydney brain chip researcher Avinash Singh told the Massachusetts Institute of Technology MIT review that this was likely because the Chinese design is less invasive. Neuralink's in one, so China, even though it's a brain implant, they ain't get, they're saying that they don't get all up into you as Esau trying to do. Any kind of brain, and again going into the extremes that these devils, take to transgress against the Lord. Any kind of brain implant can cause physical damage that may affect how neighboring brain regions work, explains Dr. Tuffley. For example, if there's bleeding in a part of the brain that controls speech or movement, even a small blood clot could impair those functions, and while infections in the brain are rare, they can cause swelling and further complications if not immediately treated. Right now, being realistic, most people is probably not going to get the brain implant, but get that the one in the hand, maybe, or whatever. But point is, not to get any. Okay, the N1 is currently being trialed in 9 patients. I tried writing my name for the first time in 20 years. Right. I'm working on it. So this is a patient. I tried writing my name for the first time in 20 years. I'm working on it. Trial participant Audrey Cruz said in a post on X, "It's humbling to know my journey in helping Neuralink refine its technology, which could one day let millions control devices with their minds." Yeah, wow, so cool, right? And it just goes to show you that these devils really don't have no power. All right, here it says, I tried writing my name for the first time in 20 years. I'm working on it. Man, when the Lord and the prophets, okay, when they perform certain miracles, on people, maybe they made them able to walk. Remember the one guy who was laying on his bed? I can't remember the exact where to find the story, but the Lord gave him the power to walk, It say he immediately got up and walked carrying his own bed, man. He didn't have to, oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. He say, all right, Lord, I'm working on it. Nah, he got his ass up and carried that shit, man. Showing you that's real power, man. But yeah, you know, this is what's coming, right? And it's all scripture, it's all prophecy. But Lord willing, this video was edifying or informative in some way, shape, or form. And once more, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.